Well, the weekend has come to an end, but it does not end things here. So, as you probably know right about now, it's going to be a one review episode for today. So, I decided just to focus on this one. So, as you know, we're going to be reviewing AEW Dynasty. It's going to be a blast. So, we're going to cover everything from the 0 hour matches all the way to the main card. So, it's going to be A to Z on the whole thing. I'm so excited to review this one for all of you. And then, as always, we'll wrap up our episode, of course, with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. In the world, pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also go to real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got you Nagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers, let's get to it. So, as I said before, it's a one review episode only, so it's going to be AEW Dynasty. AEW Dynasty. This took place recently in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, of course. So let's begin with the 0 hour matches. Our first one, we have Marina Shafir and Alex Windsor. Now, obviously, we know the storyline. Marina as a member of the Death Riders, and her and the Death Riders had targeted Will Ospreay recently, and now, of course, Alex Windsor, Will Ospreay's fiance, decided to take matters in her own hands. So you can tell how this was going to be. Now, Alex Windsor wanted this match to show her she means business. Now, of course, when it comes to Marina, we know her background as a former MMA fighter and that. But when it comes to Alex Windsor, well, she's all about brawling, and that's exactly what she did when she took her out with her finisher move. I don't even know what it is, but just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, during an exclusive interview with Willow Nightingale, we did not anticipate her arrival. Camille, who we haven't seen for almost 500 days, and she just viciously attacked Willow Nightingale in the back, and she was put in a match against Big Ann. Now, obviously, this match was going to go, of course, in favor with Camille, and she did when she, of course, took her out with a somewhat of a Blue Thunder Bomb type of maneuver, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. However, Willow Nightingale, well, she wasn't going to take this crap for anything after being attacked and blindsided by, of course, Camille. But she may have injured herself even further. So we don't know how that's going to be. But we did hear later that Willow will be challenging, of course, Camille and putting her TBS title on the line. Now, speaking of championships, we have the AEW National Championship. Mark Davis, member of the the Don Callis family, of course. As you probably can guess, that this is one of the titles that, of course, that idiot and snake Don Callis wants. He faces against Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and of course, this was not going to be an easy task because, of course, Mark Davis is really impervious to the pain that he inflicts on himself. But when it comes to Jungle Jack Perry, he has to think a lot smarter. But he was able, of course, to not lose the title by applying the Hurricanrana, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our last match of the 0 hour is the AEW Women's World Tag Team titles. We have, of course, Hyan and Maya World, who earned a shot of these belts, take on our current champions, Divine Dominion, Lena Cross and Megan Bayne. There was something that someone posted on social media. They were criticizing both Miranda Elise and Nixon Knoll, formerly known as Tegan Knox, like saying, you guys it could have been you guys, but instead you decided not to play ball. And I have to say, obviously, they're right. They decided to make things for themselves rather than listen to whoever's making the call. But it was a okay match. I mean, not gonna lie, but unfortunately, this match ended with Hyan being on the wrong side of the Divine Intervention, and Megan Bayne pinned her. 1, 2, 3, it's over. So the obvious question is, who's going to be the ones to dethrone the Divine Dominion? Well, that's something we'll just have to wait and see. Now, our opening match of the main card of the AEW Dynasty is the Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, taking on, of course, Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada. Now, obviously, we know what's been going on with Okada and Takeshita. We know that Okada has a problem with them. It's all about the egos. I mean, Okada feels like he's the top guy, and Takeshita, he's in the bottom. But Takeshita is always trying to prove, I should be also at the top. But Takeshita's like, nope, sorry, ain't gonna happen. But of course, we thought that they got along great, including that idiot Don Callis, who is, of course, with his head up his butt as always. But what we did not anticipate is how this thing was going to go. Well, how many times have we seen Okada make fun of Takeshita whenever something bad goes happen? Well, Takeshita got the last laugh when he allowed Nick Jackson to do the TK driver, or the Dave Meltzer driver, or whatever they're calling it today, onto Okada, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. The Bucks may have won, but Don Callis, well, he's probably going, what the hell was that? I'm sure he's trying to understand what just took place. Well, he was the one who suggested it, but he should have listened to Keshta. But no, he decided, we got to do this for Kyle. Yeah, look what that happened. Now, our next match, we have Ricochet versus Chris Jericho. Now, when Chris Jericho, of course, made his return during Collision and signed a contract this past Wednesday on Dynamite, well, Ricochet is like saying, bro, do yourself a favor, get out of here, you don't need to do that. But of course, he had to interrupt Jericho. But of course, wherever Ricochet goes, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, I'm talking about Teo Leona and Bishop Khan, decided to tag along. And of course, these two knuckleheads decided to get involved. But luckily, at some point, of course, Jericho took them out. But it was not enough until, of course, Ricochet applied the Spirit Gun, and that would have been it. However, Teo Leona thought of something else. Why not put salt into the wound? And of course, that salt was none other than Ricochet applying the Lion Salt onto Jericho, a move that we all know too familiar by Chris Jericho. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Ricochet got away with the win. But sooner or later, I'm sure Jericho will get his revenge on Ricochet for that match. Now, moving on. Our next match is Andrade versus Darby Allin. Now, this was a match, of course, where Darby Allin, as you know, he made his tensions known that he is aiming for the AEW World Title. However, Don Moron decided like, nope, Darby, it is not gonna happen. You're not getting that title shot. So he told him, send someone to stop me. And he sent Andrade. Now, Andrade does not want to do the bidding of MJF because nobody in the Don Callis family likes him. Or should I say, they don't want to do business with them. But of course, Don Moron, should I say, does, because he will do whatever it takes to get what they want, and is the AEW World Title. But unfortunately, you can tell that Andrade was attempting to bring out the hurt into him, and that's exactly what he was doing the entire time. But however, Darby Allin, instead of usually using the coffin drop, he used the Last Supper, which was led to the pinfall, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Darby Allin wins. So that means his clear vision to the AEW World Title is now, in course, right there in front of him. Our next match is for the AEW World Tag Team Belt. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage taking on FTR. Now, of course, this was going to be a brutal match. And of course, that idiot Stokely was going to get involved. We've been seeing that, but man, it was brutal. I mean, we saw Copeland bleeding. FTR were able to isolate him away from Christian Cage, who in fact, Christian was taken out completely. And of course, Stokely got what he deserves. He got in the face of the referee, and he got shoved. But unfortunately, Copeland was unsuccessful when he ended up on the Shattered Machine. But of course, when it was all over, when FTR retained the belt, FTR returned to hurt him more, but Christian managed to stop it in time. So, we don't know what will go from there. Now, our next match is for the TNT Championship that has now been vacant in a casino gauntlet. Now, the match started out with 2 people. Now, the idea is this: they'll be adding some more people. Now, remember, this is nothing like the Battle Royale. So, basically, more people will add at a certain interval. But the only way this match will end until someone, of course, pick up the win. We had wrestlers who, the 2 who started was Tommaso Ciampa and then Bruce. And then they added guys like Pac, Jet Speed were there individually, El Clone, and a few others. But in the end, it was in fact Kevin Knight who picked up the win by applying the UFO splash onto Garcia. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, brand new TNT champion. Now, our next match is the AEW Women's World Championship. Now, Jamie Hayter has faced off Tekla before. If you guys remember, when Jamie Hayter was making her return, she was brutally attacked by, of course, Tekla. And, of course, Jamie Hayter got her little pound of flesh. But, however, now that she has the AEW Women's World title, that gave her the excuse to, once again, aim for this belt. But, of course, we did see at the start where both the Brawling Birds were in the back having some beers. And, of course, Alex Windsor said, well, it's your turn now. So, basically, that was going to be it. However, of course, this match was going to be brutal no matter what. I mean, I'm sure Tekla was going to think everything that she thought of taking her out. And that's exactly what she tried to do. But, however, it was not enough. So, she applied the bridge onto her, and she used the ropes to hold onto it. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, she retained the belt. Now, our next match is the AEW Continental Championship, Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley. Now, of course, Moxley, as you know, was responsible for injuring Will Ospreay. And just like that, of course, he was going to target Will Ospreay's neck, which is the same source that put him out since last August after, of course, that steel cage match. And that's exactly what we expected. But, however, Will Ospreay refuses to stay down until finally Jon Moxley applied, of course, the Death Rider, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Jon Moxley retained the belt. And I think this was a very disappointing loss for Will Ospreay. I'm sure he is not done with Jon Moxley just yet. Now, of course, Renee Paquette talks to Darby Allin, telling him that he will be gunning for the AEW World title this Wednesday. So that's going to be a very impressive matchup. Now, our next match is for the AEW World Trios belt. The conglomeration, Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong, were awaiting the arrival of the third member in a sitcom setting, where, of course, Vancouver's very own Kyle O'Reilly showed up, and they take on the Dogs, of course. Clark Connors, Gabe Kidd, and David Finlay. Now, of course, we know the Dogs. They are a vicious group that they're determined to beat up anybody and put them in body bags, and that's what they've been known for a long time. And we were expecting what they were going to do, but however, what we did not expect later, of course, is Gabe Kidd might have got himself hurt, and it ended up like in a 2 or 3 kind of scenario. But it was, in fact, of course, Kyle O'Reilly that put Clark Connors away with the ankle lock, and just like that, he tapped out, brand new AEW World Trios Champions. Now, our main event, we have the AEW World Title. We have Kenny Omega once again aiming for the AEW World Title against, of course, Salt of the Earth, MJF. Now, of course, MJF was going to do his usual tricks. I mean, we know he's been capable of looking for ways to ensure not to lose the belt. He used Rick Knox in the match to ensure that he got caught in the V trigger, and then they tried to take everything out of each other. The Diamond Ring was in play as well, and then of course Kenny Omega went through a table through a pile driver, but however it was the Heat Seeker that ended things for Kenny, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, MJF retained the belt. So this Wednesday we will see him taking on Darby Allin, so that's going to be an interesting matchup. So as of right now, we are done with, of course, with this review. Let's end this episode with some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So let's begin with upcoming events. Now, as you know, the Collective have many of their shows coming up for the Las Vegas event. News coming from the World on Lucha, which is produced by Gringo Loco. That'll happen on the 17th of April. We have a 6-way scramble match. We have KJ Orso, Resplandor, Dulce Tormenta, Devin, Quintero, and Jimmy Lloyd. And then, of course, on that very same day, we have the Joey Janela Spring Break. It was announced Gringo Loco will be participating as well. Now, other events taking place on that day, too. We got the New Japan Def Vegas Invitacional, by, of course, that was produced by El Desperado. That will happen on the 16th of April. We have a House Rules Hardcore match. Ghetto of the Unbound will team up with Daisuke Sasaki from DDT. They'll take on Joey Janela and, of course, the Base God, Gringo Loco. Then, of course, we have Nick Gage and Matt Tremont versus El Desperado and Jun Kasai versus Masashi Takeda and Rina Yamashita. Now, also for the part of the Las Vegas shows, we have Maple Leaf Pro with Multiverse. On the 17th, they announced The Demand will be challenging Sidney Akeem, Michael Oku, and Rich Swann. I'm not sure if this is one of those matches that, of course, that they had to adjust due to some wrestlers being pulled from TNA. I don't know, but we'll see. Spark Yoshi Puroresu of America for the Lady Luck 2 event on the 19th of April. They announced Natsupoi versus Starlight Kid versus Danny Mo versus Maya World. That's going to be a fun match. That's pretty much it for upcoming events. Let's talk about some developments. Marvelous has congratulated Miko, Alana, and Sweet Carolina. The reason they congratulate them, they will be heading to Japan to do some training and go on tour with them. Now, it's no secret that Marvelous have done this before. Remember, they have a working relationship with West Coast Pro, and that's where these ladies are from. So they will be giving tryouts to go, and then if they pass, they'll be heading overseas to Marvelous to do a tour. I don't know how long that will last, but that's always great news to hear, so that's great. Now, another piece of news that was surprising, many of you know Ryo Mizunami, who was part of the first ever Double or Nothing by AEW, and she was part of the first match that featured the Joshi wrestlers, of course. She teamed up with both Riho and Hikaru Shida to take on Emi Sakura, Yuka Sakazaki, and of course Aja Kong. Well, Ryo Mizunami, for those who don't follow her that well, but those who do, you all know perfectly well, she's a freelancer. Well, for surprising news, she is now officially part of the Sendai Girls roster, which is very surprising. Now, we have seen something like this before with certain freelancers, like um, Mizuki Takase, who was a freelancer, then she signed with Sendai Girls, and the same thing with you before she retired. So, I'm surprised that happened. But this is what she had to say regarding about that. Let me pull it up for all of you so I can read it. I'm thrilled to announce that I have joined Sendai Girls Pro Wrestling. For me personally, this takes a form of rejoining the group. When I received the red tracksuit from Satomura-san and slipped it on after about 14 years, I am overwhelmed with emotion. From here on out, in Senjo's Mizunami's Ayumi, I'm giving it all, everyone. So, basically, she hasn't been in a part of a promotion for almost 14 years, which is really amazing to hear. But she's in it. I don't know what led to it. Hopefully, one day she can explain it to us. So we'll leave things as it is as of right now. So we're done. Let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, well, I haven't decided yet, but I have been considering to review TNA Rebellion since I did not review it. I wanted to do this on this episode, but the back of my mind was telling me, no, just focus on the AEW Dynamite. So that's my intended target. I am considering trying to do something else on it. I'm not sure what, but I'll get to it. And I need to catch up with Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling as well. That's ones that I haven't been able to do for a while, but we'll see. We'll see how things will roll up from there. But for now, TNA Rebellion is on the table on this one, so stay tuned for that. But as of right now, I'll say this, and I'll say this. I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I'm gonna bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.